last year's final gave us something more interesting than just a winner and a runners-up. It gave us two different versions of modern T20 team and two different stories. One team finally became champions after years of carrying expectations, noise, emotional baggage. The other built one of the most dangerous squads in the tournament and reached the final through power, depth, and much stronger cricketing identity than we usually associate Punjab with. RCB enters 2026 as defending champions. Their 25 campaign ended with a title. Virat Kohli as the top scorer with 657 runs. Hazelwood as leading wicket taker with 22 wickets. On the other hand, Punjab Kings finished first in the league table. Shreyas Iyer scored 604 runs. Arshdeep took 21 wickets and they lost the final to RCB by 6 runs. So on paper, these two teams are not just strong teams. They are the two best teams last season, and we will figure out if that continues this season or not. Hello, my name is Chinmay. Along with Salaf, I welcome you to Deep Point, where we go beyond the scorecard and decode the stories, patterns, and narratives that shape the game. Today's discussion is a very interesting one because we are looking at two teams that were at the heart of last season's story. Royal Challengers Bangalore and Punjab Kings. One lifted the trophy, other was painfully close. RCB ended their long wait and won their first IPL title, but we will see that if they can repeat that this time also. On the other hand, Punjab Kings also were deserving to win the trophy. So we will see if they will come back with some changes and they what they learned from last year's experience, or whether they have the squad to repeat last year's brilliance or not. So Salap, let's start with the squad and we will then try to figure out the first 11 and we will do that for both the teams and we'll see that what kind of uh, teams they have this time, right? So I will read out the RCB's squad because they were the champions, so we will start with them and then we will move to Punjab. So Virat Kohli, Vethal, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Phil Salt, Padikkal, Avinandan Singh, Rajat Patidar, their captain, Chitesh Sharma, Hazelwood, if he is available. Yash Dayal is not, I think he will not join RCB's team this year. Nuwan Tushara is there, Krunal Pandya is there, Romario Shepherd is there, Rashik Dar is there, Suyas Sharma is there,
Yes.
Team David is there, and Swapnil Singh
Okay.
is there. Venkatesh Iyer joined. They will be joining their team this time. He was and I think he is a good addition to their team. Jacob Duffy is a good bowler and again a good addition. I think Satvik is there. Mangesh Yadav, the lefty bowler, is there. Jordan Cox is a good all-rounder. Then Kanishk and Vihan Malhotra. So this is their squad. There might be some changes, some addition, some replacements, but this is the squad they have, and let's figure out their first 11.
Yeah, so let's figure out their overseas players first. So, and
Right.
as we were discussing last day, that the overseas players need to be, expert players. So,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure that they will start with Phil Salt. And if
Hmm.
Phil Salt doesn't work, I think they will be going with Jacob Bethel with a little bit of changes in
Hmm.
the batting order. But
Hmm.
definitely they are starting with Phil Salt. Hazelwood, they are not going to get this time, at least
Hmm.
for the initial matches. So
Hmm.
they might be looking for a replacement in Jacob Duffy or Nuwan Thushara. I think they might
Hmm.
prefer Nuwan Thushara a little bit because Jacob Duffy's form, it is very subjective. So like if he was not in his best in both the bilateral series against India and also in the World T20. I don't know whether they will go with
Hmm.
Duffy. And the other
Hmm.
two names, I think it's pretty sure they will go with Team David and they will go with Romario
Oh,
Shepherd.
Romario Shepherd.
Yeah. So if we look at their order once, Phil Salt and Virat will open. I am
Hmm.
assuming they are going to bat first. So in that
Hmm.
way, I will be, changing the impact player. So Phil
Hmm.
Salt and Kohli will open, followed by Devdutt Patikal
Hmm.
or Venkatesh Iyer. I think
Hmm.
they will first choose Devdutt Patikal of because he's a local boy. Also, he has a good record in the last year. Also, he has
Hmm.
got a good record in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy as well.
Yeah.
So at four, I think Rajat Patidar definitely. It's a like
Hmm.
known thing. Five, I think, will be given to Team David. Six, I think it will be given to Jitesh.
Jitesh Sharma. Yes.
Seven, I think it will be Krunal Pandya. So Krunal Pandya can be the
Hmm.
floating batsman also. And at eight, I
Yeah.
think they are going to have Romario Shepherd. And
Hmm.
9, 10, 11, pretty much set. I think they are going to play Tushara. They are going to play Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. And also they are going to
Hmm.
play Yash Dayal. Or if Yash Dayal is not available, then I think they will be going with Mangesh Yadav.
Mangesh.
And I think their impact player will be Suyash. So
Hmm.
Suyash is a bowler who they are going who is going to be their trump card in spin because they do not have any spinner apart from Krunal Pandya. And yeah, so brilliant 11. I think almost a flawless
Hmm.
11 like last year.
Hmm.
Concerns? What are your concerns so far as RCB is concerned?
Means their first 11 is looking good. I hope there won't be any further injuries or anything, because they do not have backups in that sense.
Mm,
And we will talk about injury backups.
mm,
That's one thing, I think that can be of some problem for
mm,
them. But the other issue is almost all their players were in form last year,
mm,
and that's why they performed so well.
mm.
I'm not sure if these players can repeat that form this year.
Yes,
For example,
yes,
Krunal Pandya
absolutely.
actually was in good form.
Mm,
Another thing is Virat Kohli, the kind of form he is in right now, if he can have that in this tournament, then that would be a great plus for RCB. But again, you don't know, right,
mm,
that whether that will happen or not.
mm,
So everything is depending on whether they will have similar kinds of forms that they had last year.
mm,
When we rely too much on forms of certain players, then that's not a good sign. But on paper, we discussed about this team offline also, that this team is looking great, because they are a champion side, so
mm,
they are obviously looking great
mm,
on paper. But another thing is, you mentioned this, so I'm repeating your point. Means I'm taking your point from offline to here.
mm,
You mentioned about their bowling, and I agree that their bowling is not looking that great,
mm,
because you can't rely on young bowlers in a tournament like this.
mm,
You don't know whether they will come good or not.
mm,
We rated Duffy so highly, and still we do. But what we saw a little bit about Duffy in World Cup, the batters are lining him up,
mm,
and that's a issue, because he is not getting those swings here in Indian condition.
mm.
That's one thing, and he is yet to figure out the right length to
Right.
bowl in Indian condition and Indian pitches. And that's again a big issue for them. They rely heavily on Hazelwood and Bhubaneswar, and Bhubaneswar um, is not a regular player now.
Mm,
When a player is regular, he is in touch, and Bhubaneswar is obviously very experienced, and he can come good, and he's that kind of player. But they will miss Hazelwood in initial few matches, because that's when you set the tone for the tournament. If
mm,
you miss a player like him in initial matches, that's again a big blow for them. So
Mm.
overall, I'm not seeing RCB having the kind of start they had last year,
Mm.
but they can surprise us obviously with their
Yeah.
performances.
So
You don't know, even Kohli can single-handedly
yeah,
pull them out of these issues and let them have a great tournament. Yeah.
yeah. So the concerns are not only confined with bowling. So there are some batting concerns
Mm,
also. Salt is not in good
mm,
form. Even Team
mm,
David is also not in good form. Uh,
mm,
uh, uh, Only I think there are few aspects. I'm not even sure that how well Jitesh Sharma will play because
right.
Jitesh Sharma is also in recent times he has gone a little bit hot and cold. So
Mm,
a lot of things are going to depend on Virat Kohli and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, I think
mm,
their bowling, I think entirely now depends on Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. So that's
mm,
a major concern. Even if Hazelwood comes fit and it's very difficult to say that he will continue his mojo from the last year and after
mm,
such a prolonged injury issue he will be able to sustain that. So, and that too,
mm,
it's a long league. So how he is going to turn up after he comes back? That's also a concern. And I think another point which will disturb RCB a little bit, that is Yash Dayal's absence. Yash Dayal was brilliant in the last season,
yeah.
and though they have got Mangesh, he is a little untested. And
Mm,
now it's difficult to predict that he will do as good as Yash Dayal. Though Mangesh Yadav, I have seen him
mm,
in a few matches. He's a good prospect. He's not a bad prospect at
mm,
all. Another point, I think RCB doesn't enjoy the home advantage that much.
mm,
Generally, they are not a very good side at Chinnaswamy. So I think, and also the smaller grounds of Chinnaswamy will keep that problem sustaining. That how are they going to accommodate Duffy? Because
mm,
because Jacob Duffy has not shown the best of his form as you have mentioned. And if Duffy is given a chance, and if Duffy is the replacement for Josh Hazelwood, then at least in the power play, I'm pretty sure that RCB's bowling lineup is
mm.
looking very thin.
Another issue is you need your captain to be in good form, and whatever we saw means about Patidar in his performances
Yes,
in
yes,
say
yes,
domestic
yes.
tournaments, it's not that great.
It's not that great,
And
right?
Patidar is one of the key batters and players in their team. And if
Definitely,
as a captain, if he is not
definitely.
confident and in a good mind space, that can create some issues for
Mm.
RCB because he captained brilliantly. He led the
Yes,
team
yes,
brilliantly
yes,
last
yes,
year,
yes.
and for RCB's success, it is important that he continues to do that this year also, and we will see because a player like Patidar again, like Kohli, he can obviously make a comeback and come good, and we will see what happens. But I think the opening pair and Particle, these top three is very important for them
Mm.
because right now they do not have the bowling, and unless so till the time Hazelwood is not there in
Mm.
the team, they have to somehow make up through their batting. They must have a cushion of say 20-30 runs,
Mm.
and for that the top three is very important.
Mm.
And I hope Kohli will continue his form, and if he continues his form, he is and you know that also that he is in a red hot form.
Yes,
Means I
yes, yes,
think
yes.
if he continues the form, he will again be the top scorer this year.
Definitely, definitely.
And if he continues that form, then RCB will again reach the playoffs this year
So
if Kohli comes good.
a lot of things will again depend on how Krunal and Suyash will manage the middle overs.
100%.
Because now they are not getting assurance from the death overs. Because last time they
Hmm.
had Yash Dayal, who was a brilliant death over bowler, and
Hmm.
he was almost he and Hazelwood, they combining Bhuvaneshwar with them. I think three of them,
Hmm.
the way they managed death overs last year, I think that was one of the recipes of their IPL winning victory. So I think
Hmm.
that is one another issue. So
Hmm.
what are your final thoughts on RCB? So I'm rating them as of now a little less than 8, 7.5 for me.
Yeah, 7.5 for me also. I think they obviously they can surprise us, but
Mm,
on paper, keeping in mind the other information in the sense that the performances of some of their players, current performances, the current form, they do not have good backups in that sense.
mm,
So if you keep all these points in mind, then 7.5 is fair, I
mm.
think, and we will see how they. So, for example, if Salt comes good
Yes,
and Virat Kohli comes good, and Kunal Pandya continues his form, Suyas
correct.
continues his form, then it's a gun side again.
Yeah.
So then we do not have to say anything about their weaknesses and limitations because they are a gun team, and we are not even talking about Team David and Romario Shepherd
Yeah.
and the
So,
kind of finishing that they can have. We're not talking about them. We are keeping them aside because that those are X factor players. They can come good. They can even go for a dry season
yes,
altogether.
yes,
But
yes.
that's beside the point. But we have to look at the core of a side, and their core is, if they're in form then it's good, otherwise especially their bowling is not looking good. That's the
Yes,
main
yes, yes, yes.
issue, I think. The Because batting, one or two batters will come good, and then
Mm,
in a T20 match, that's enough. But look at their bowling, you don't know whether Bhuvaneshwar will have another good season or not,
correct.
or
True, true, true.
it might happen that this is the last season of Bhuvaneshwar. After
Mm,
having a very bad season, he may not continue
right,
next year.
right.
It can very much happen because he is the fag end of his career, and
Mm,
we don't know what will happen. So we are we are using this sentence for too many of their players. We
yes,
will
yes, yes,
see
yes.
what will happen. We are not
We are not
sure
sure.
what exactly will happen.
Even like Jitesh's
They
form
can
is also
surprise
not
us.
at his peak. So Jitesh,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
will happen depends on Jitesh also because Jitesh actually holds the middle order batting because he will have to
Hmm,
take a lot of responsibilities because Team David and also Krunal Pandya and Romario Shepherd. You are not
hmm,
Krunal Pandya is not a proper hitting batter. I think
hmm.
Jitesh will have to be sometimes he will have to play the dual role of both anchoring and hitting. So
Hmm.
that's one concern that I am having so far as RCB is concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, so 7.57 is, I think, fair
Mm.
for them, and but again, if their players come good, then they can reach the playoffs.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So let's move to
All
Punjab.
right, so yeah, so let's move to Punjab and their squad. Let me read out their squad also. So they have Arshdeep, obviously, Marco Jansson, Prabhsimran, Omar Zai, Nihal Vadera, Bartlett, Shreyas Iyer, Chahal, Vaishak, Harnoor, Lucky Ferguson, Priyansh Arya, then Suryansh, Mushir Khan, then Marcus Stoinis, Vishnu Vinod,
Harpreet
Harpreet
Brar,
Brar, sorry, Mitch Awen, Avinash,
Final
Yash
Avinash,
Thakur, Shashank Singh,
Shashank Singh,
Kanoli, then Praveen Dubey and Vishal Nishad, and that Australian lefty fast bowler.
Ben Doarshuis, Ben Doarshuis,
Yeah,
Ben Doarshuis.
yeah. So that's their squad, and
Mm,
let's figure out their first 11. Uh,
mm.
and let's first start with the foreign players.
Yes.
Four foreign players that we will pick
So definitely
for their team.
they are going to have Johnson.
Janssen and
They are going to have
Lockie Ferguson.
Lockie Ferguson is injured. I
So
think
is he,
he will be missing.
injured?
He
Okay.
is going to miss a few days.
Stoinis will be there.
Stoinis will be there.
Stoinis will be
Stoinis is definitely going to
there.
be there. And I think
And
they are going to have Azmatullah Omar Zai. They will be playing Michawan. Definitely Michawan is
uh,
going to come.
uh,
Definitely.
yeah,
I think, and the other player, I think they are going to have Xavier Bartlett. So in absence
yeah,
of
yeah.
Lockie Ferguson, they will be having Xavier
Hmm.
Bartlett because they need a third pacer. So they already
Right.
have Janssen. So I don't think they will be going with Duashwitz. They will be going
Uh,
with Bartlett.
yeah,
Stoinis and Asmatullah Umarzai, I think they will be interchanging.
yeah.
And
But they will start with
they will
Stoinis
start with
because
Stoinis, definitely.
they are. If say Stoinis is having not so significant performances in the first few matches, then they can move to
Right.
Omarzai. Omarzai is also a great prospect and
Yeah.
a proven product, so they can go for him also. Let's figure out their first
First 11,
11.
considering they are batting first. So
Yeah,
Prabh and Priyansh will open.
Priyansh. Yeah.
So third one down is definitely Shreyas Iyer. The number 4 batsman is, I think they are going to have Michawan.
Hmm.
And then they are going to have Nihal Vadera. Nihal Vadera also can come at 4.
Hmm.
Vadera
Yeah.
and Owen, they will be having their 4 and 5. They will be sharing among them. Number
Hmm.
6, hands down, Shashank. I think this
Hmm.
one guy has been a brilliant campaigner for Punjab
Yeah.
in the last 2 seasons. So till 6 we are done. Then we are having Marcus
Hmm.
Stoinis. Then we are having
Hmm.
Marco Janssen. We are having
Hmm.
Xavier Bartlett and Arshdeep.
Hmm.
And they will be having, I think, Chahal is going to be their impact bowler, and they might be
Hmm.
roping in another spinner. Maybe Harpreet Brar will be the other spinner because
Hmm.
Harpreet
Hmm.
Brar is also that left arm spinner who will be
Hmm.
bowling those middle overs and containing some runs. So yeah,
Hmm.
perfect. I think they are looking a very formidable side.
Hmm.
So I think every box is ticked. I cannot find any flaw. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh, and their batting core is really good. Obviously, all of them are solid batters. Shreyas Iyer, say, uh, can play the anchor role and the accelerating role. So he can do anything he wants. Prav Simran is hugely important because his Syed Mustaq Ali trophy numbers are great. So he's hitting at a strike rate of 163,
yes,
164,
absolutely,
and he scored around, I think, 400 plus runs
yes.
in that tournament. So we know what he can do, and he trained under Yuvraj. So we have to take into account that also. And you talked about Shashank. We know what he can do and how he finishes the matches, and with along with Nihal Vadera. So they actually have too many good batters,
Yes.
and I'm missing the name of the other opener. So he's also
Priyansh Sharia. Yeah, yeah.
Priyansh.
Excellent, excellent
Priyansh is
batsman.
also, so all these players can play for India or anytime. So obviously we have too many players. That's why these players are not getting chances, but they very much deserve a place in our Indian T20 team because
That's
they
right.
are that good. So Punjab is actually looking great.
Yeah.
They deserved to win last year, but they can win this year.
I'm pretty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Playoffs are like looking very,
Playoffs for
very
sure,
for
sure,
sure,
100%.
100%.
100%.
So
Even if they play 60%
of their
of
abilities.
their potential, they will reach playoffs.
So
So they're
just
that good a side.
yeah, I'm looking at the injury backups also. So maybe they are
Hmm.
having Duarshuis as a backup for either Janssen or maybe Bartlett for that matter. Also, they are
Hmm.
having players like Michawan this time. So he's going
Hmm.
to He's a very good prospect. I think he's a brilliant batter. I think no, their substitutes for the batters are not that good. Otherwise,
Hmm.
I am not seeing any so any kind of injury in the batting lineup that may create a little bit of confusion. They're having backup of only Stoinis, so that's one good thing.
Hmm.
Otherwise, yeah, Suryansh
Hmm.
Shedge, he is a good talent. He has shown it
Hmm.
in bits and pieces in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. But apart from
Hmm.
Shedge, I am not looking at any good talent in the bench. So that is one thing that is my observation.
Yeah.
And a
Hmm.
lot of things will be depending on how Chahal and Brar, they bowl
Hmm.
the middle sessions. Harnoor Pannu
Yeah.
is a good prospect. He has
Good prospect. Yeah.
Harnoor Pannu is a good prospect, I think. So he's also another player who might be getting a few matches.
Hmm.
Otherwise, yeah, middle overs, I think that will be a little bit more dependent. And because in absence of Lockie Ferguson, they are missing
Hmm.
on one good death bowler because
Yeah.
we have seen that Johnson and Bartlett, they are not the best bowlers of death.
Hmm.
Arshdeep is definitely
Arshdeep is good.
definitely
Yeah,
one good
Arshdeep will handle one side,
one side.
but
Yeah.
let's think about the other side.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
who will bowl the other 2 overs?
Yes, yes.
So that
So
we have to think about.
in absence of Lockie Ferguson, that might be a concern. Otherwise,
Hmm.
yeah, again, captaincy and management, they are having the one of the best captains of India right now.
Hmm.
And management
Hmm.
is also quite sorted. They are having Ricky Ponting as their head coach and everything. So pretty much sorted. And Ricky Ponting also, when he has his Australian core to work with him, he also can bring the best of Michawen or Marcus Stoinis
Hmm.
or Xavier Bartlett for that matter.
Hmm.
That's again another very good thing. And I think,
Hmm.
yeah, so only one issue, their record in their home ground is not that good. So the
Hmm.
Mullapur wicket doesn't suit Punjab's bowling that much. So if
Hmm.
you can remember Arshdeep and his pathetic bowling against South Africa. So where he was
Hmm.
bowling wides after wides. So very surprising.
So Punjab will play their home matches in
New Mullapur,
Niyamalapur,
and I think a few grounds in Dharamshala. So
Dharamshala.
Dharamshala is good. They have a better record in Dharamshala, but Mullapur tracks are a little bit dicey for them. So both these teams, RCB
Hmm.
and Punjab, they are not having a very good record at their home grounds. So they generally
And Bangalore will play their matches in Bangalore and Raipur.
Bangalore and Raipur, Chinnaswamy and Raipur. So yeah, so that's how this matches are being scheduled. I
Hmm.
Any other observation for Punjab? I think they are good 9.5 for me.
Yes, 100%.
So,
They also have the arguably the best all rounder in Marco Janssen. Janssen is, I think he is the best all rounder
yes, 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 yes.
right now. The
Right.
kind of form he has, he's the best all rounder. Obviously, Hardik Pandya is also there, but if you look at the kind of bowling, the quality of bowling, and the way he's batting right now, so he's, as per me at least, he is the best. So they have all the best products,
Yes, yes, definitely.
and the only thing is whether their all their players come good or not. But if you compare this side with Bangalore, Punjab is looking good on paper,
Absolutely.
and also if you look at their current performances, all of their players are in form. None of their players, you can't point out a player who is not in form. Their only problem is, say, Ferguson is not there, and couple of other backups, and over dependence on Arshdeep for death bowling.
Right, right,
That's the only issue I can see in
right.
their team right now. Otherwise, they will easily go to playoff. If they do not reach playoffs this year, that would be like an upset
Yes.
and a big upset in
It
that
will be a
sense,
shock.
because it will be a really a shocker, and it is. I'm pretty much sure they will reach playoffs. I'm thinking they can win the tournament this year, but they will at least reach the playoffs for sure. They have a team like that.
Another concern that
All
is
right, so
a little,
yeah.
I'm a little bit, this thought is crossing my mind. This is
Hmm.
about Yuzi Chahal. So
Hmm.
his form was not the best in last season, and
Hmm.
he will be a very important factor this time
Hmm.
uh, because a lot of things have happened. His career is, it's experiencing a downslide. At one time, he was
Hmm.
one of the stars. He was such a big brand value. He was
Hmm.
the UZ Chahal at some point of time, and all of a sudden,
Hmm.
there is a there are a lot of disciplinary concerns with this guy also, because last
Hmm.
time these things were very much there's this news was floating that Shreyas Iyer is finding really tough to manage UZ Chahal. So had he not been
Hmm.
such a star bowler, then he might have been dropped, because his performances this time it will be interesting, because carrying a bowler of his stature and carrying a bowler of
Hmm.
that class, it is a double-edged sword. If he is not being able to perform, then how are you going to deal with it? He's a
Hmm.
semi Hardik Pandya kind of a guy, so
Hmm.
that's a little bit of a problematic thing for him. Yeah.
We also have to see how many of the players in the first 11 is regularly playing. If you're
Yes,
not playing regularly, even if you are among the top players, if you're not playing at a certain level, then it becomes difficult
it
for
becomes
you to
difficult.
perform in front of a crowd and in a competitive setup. So
Correct.
that's what we have to keep in mind, because the names are big, but whether they can perform in this stage is a concern. The same concern we have for Chahal, and it's same for Bhuvneshwar Kumar also,
Yes.
whether Bhuvneshwar Kumar will be able to perform
Mm.
again or not. Same goes for Krunal Pandya
Same
also
goes
to
for
some
Kunal
extent, but
Pandya.
Krunal Pandya is still playing domestic
Yeah.
cricket to some extent, I think, but
Uh,
still it's a problem for him. Last year, what Krunal Pandya did, he used those faster bouncers. Now the teams are
Yes.
ready how to tackle those bouncer, and the teams will have better answers this time
Correct.
to all his variations.
Correct.
And I don't rate Kunal Pandya as a batter. So he's a batter who can score few runs, so a quick 15-20 runs. But he's not a proper, means he's a obviously proper batter, but he's not that impactful till now in IPL. He played some blinders last year, but I don't know whether he will be able to replicate that. And that's why RCB won last year. And we discussed about Krunal Pandya. Without Krunal Pandya's brilliance, RCB could not have
Would not have
won the tournament, because
100%.
other performances are well. Means we know that Kohli will perform well. Kohli will always have 400 plus runs plus tournament. So
Absolutely.
he's that good. So that we know, but in spite of having Gale,
Even Shreyas
AB de
Iyer also.
Villiers,
Kohli, Shreyas
Shreyas Iyer
Iyer,
also.
they will not have a bad tournament. Yeah.
Right. And KL Rahul also. So all these players are very consistent players, but just because they are performing well, I have not seen their teams winning IPL. So when a player like Krunal Pandya plays some blinders in batting and then takes few wickets, that creates all the difference, and that
Right.
created the difference for RCB. But I'm not seeing Krunal Pandya will have similar campaign this year. I'm not sure he will have that kind of tournament this year. If he can repeat the last year's performance, then RCB will again do well. And again, Team David. Team David is another player. If he comes good, then it's all over for the other teams. So he's one of the danger. So that's what happened with Australia also in this year's T20 World Cup. If Team David, so many of their players did not have a good outing, and that costed them the tournament. The same thing can happen with RCB this year. So that's the challenge for them.
Team David, players like Team David, Jitesh, Salt, these three players are right now in that form, which is not currently, seems to be hopeful for RCB, but they might change. And I think RCB will fancy that their form change and, they pick up at the right moment. Yeah.
And the only player means obviously Kohli is in form, but the other player who is in form but may not have a chance to play is Bethel. So whether they will be able to take Bethel in the first 11 or not, that's there to see. We will all see whether he will get a chance or not. But he's one of the most exciting prospect, I think there is.
So the problem is if Salt fails, then they might be doing this change that Padikkal comes with Kohli in the opening and Jacob Bethel is their number 3, because Jacob Bethel is not an opener. So they are definitely not going to play.
Right.
They are definitely not going to play Jacob Bethel in the opening. So they will make that change. Now that will again, they are also, this thing needs to make sure that, Padikkal uses the power play properly, because Padikkal's utility after the power play becomes a little low, because Padikkal is not very good in milking the singles. So, so that's one aspect where, if Padikkal is not being able to perform, then I think Venkatesh Iyer might be coming in. So that's why they have kept that backup option of Venkatesh Iyer, where he can come as a backup for Devdutt Padikkal.
Yeah. Even they can sit, if say Team David is not firing for them, they can even sit out Team David and play Bethel in place of him, and play Bethel say in
number
4 or
number 5, I think number 5.
3, number 5, yeah. So after because they after Padikkal, so Salt, Kohli, then Padikkal.
I think Patidar
After Patidar, sorry, Patidar. Number 5 is a bit too late for Bethel. So that's the puzzle they have. Yeah. So what? Because I don't, obviously it's a gamble to play Bethel as the opener, but I think he is better. He's a better player at 3. I think he can be really good at 3.
Definitely.
Suppose, but they have too many options at 3. But they can again play, say, Venkatesh Iyer. Suppose Salt is not firing for them, they can play Virat Kohli and Venkatesh Iyer as openers, and then say in place of, so then again they can play in place of Padikkal. Suppose Padikkal is not
so
doing well,
yes,
they can, in place of Padikkal, they can play Bethel.
So to play Bethel, they will have to change the opening combination. That's what I'm saying.
Change the opening one. Yeah. They have to do.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I think we have covered, and there are too many more points to cover, but we can discuss them when the tournament starts and we see the performance of these players.
Yes.
Right now we can only assume and predict what will happen. But these are the 2 top teams, these are 2 gun teams, and we see them doing well if their players are in form during this tournament, and we wish them luck for the tournament, and we are excited to see them doing well. So with that note, let's end this episode. We will continue analyzing and discussing about other teams. So stay tuned and keep watching our videos, keep watching our content. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.
Thank you.